Yeah, lived over there. Then we had the big draft horses by that barn right there. So we went up there to get the horses to hitch them up to get up in there to skid some logs. And I think your dad was logging them, logging the logs, and would bring them down to the landing. Okay, Grandpa and I. And anyway, I had to go over and get those two great big horses. Maybe 7, 8, something, just a little shit. Went over there and I could see the snake go underneath the tin there. And the horses were kind of jumpy, so I said, Grandpa, come here. So he pulls up that thing, there's a whole bunch of them copperheads underneath that tin. Yeah, he killed them all. Yeah.
I wish I could remember. Sharon.
But he'd take them horses and we'd go back up in there and he'd hook them to 3 logs and turn them loose. They'd go right to that lane and he'd tell me to unhook and just let them go, and they'd go right, tie up the harness and they'd go lead ropes and they'd go right back up to him.
And then you just go lead.
He'd holler to them.
Do you remember the name of those horses? Was it Queenie?
Huh?
Was it Queenie, one of the horses?
Quincy or Queen.
Yeah, something like that.
And what was the name of them horses, Dad? He had 4. You remember? You don't remember?
You don't remember?
The guy I would remember would be Jimmy. Jimmy would remember.
I have to talk to Jimmy about that.
Yeah, he'd remember. Jimmy was, back in when we was logging around Round Top and all that country. You don't remember that?
I thought we were logging mostly up where Prospect Rock, up in there.
Yeah, he logged all over everybody's country, but he logged that Round Top. He was after that Goodwood. He'd try to get the Goodwood first, then get the Junkwood after. He didn't do pulp. Now Dad did pulp. Him and who was that guy that did the pulp with you? You guys cut it with crosscut. What was that guy's name? French, wasn't it? Was it French? Eddie French's brother.
Archie? No, it wouldn't have been Archie.
What was that guy's name?
Mind your spot.
You on snowshoes because you'd cut it in the winter.
Mind your spot.
You remember? Up there by,
Your spot.
past where Mary Burke lived and up in that country.
Oh, up on French Hill.
Who the hell was that? You can't remember who it was? Yeah, I don't know.
Am I in your spot?
I can remember him.
Does that dog usually sit right beside you?
Crosscut saw.
I'm probably in its spot.
Do you remember, Harvey was born over at the
He's your
house
best
where
friend.
Dad was born, wasn't he? Over to
I
the
have
kelp
one
mill?
of those dogs. It's my best friend too.
Do you know how long Gramp lived there
wanna get up
before
here?
he built the new
You let him
house?
up here?
I know it was before our time, but I don't know if you ever
Come on,
heard.
little chubby.
Yeah, I don't.
Come here,
Did he
chubby.
farm that?
I remember a lot of the
I
old
know.
stuff. Yeah.
You. Oh, you just like attention.
Hey, Harvey, when you were born over by the kelp mill, was Grandpa logging that or farming that land over there?
Yeah.
He logged all that, like the old white place.
Yeah.
Yeah, I can remember everything back home.
See, I don't have any
I
of
have
those
gaps
memories.
in it where it won't remember things, but
We stayed down Merritt White Place for quite a while.
yeah, I can remember.
Where's that located?
Well, down below the temple.
Down below.
Oh, below it.
Yeah, you take the road that goes by the river.
Oh, it goes right out
Then
around
go
the
right
back.
To the Merritt White place, and it come out and go down all the way across some Horners down to that farm down
Right.
there.
That.
Below that bridge on the river.
Yeah.
Yeah. Who the hell was that? I can't remember. I know who yours lived below him, and one of your ex-husbands? Was it with you?
Perkins?
Perkins.
Yeah.
In there.
The sergeants had a farm down there across the
It was a real
road.
pretty farm. The one that was really pretty, just as you went across the bridge on the.
Oh, on the left, that not Hunt's, but the other guy. They had the gravel pit in there.
Coleman. Coleman.
Yeah,
His last name's Coleman.
it's Coleman, but there was somebody else before that that owned it. Coleman's bought it from
But, I
them.
mean, they had the little guest houses up on the hill there.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they're still
I
in use
can't-
today. There's people living in those little houses.
Oh, Roots. Roots lived around the corner across from Perkins's there on that flats.
But there was some little guest houses at that one farm across the bridge on the left.
Harvey, when you were born, was the Telk building already built then, or was it there yet?
He was born in 21.
21. When did they build that big Telk building next door?
Yeah.
Do you remember? Oh, born 1921.
That Dad was born in 25.
Yeah. And Dad can remember a little bit about the flood in the house.
Oh, he knows the floods, the 21 flood.
Yeah.
Do you remember about that?
And there was another flood after that. What was the one big flood that came after? Remember when Red came in with a canoe and came right in the house?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was,
You remember
Come
that?
right in the front door and out the back.
didn't they save the money at the bank or something?
Yeah. Then across from Grandpa's house and the grist mill was that tenement building where they put quarters in
Meters?
the meter. You remember that?
No, but Keith told me stories about
Yeah.
going
I
to
stuck my
Grandma's and
tongue
doing
on
that.
that bridge one day on a dare, and Dad and Keith had to come over and heat up that post and get my tongue off.
Oh, God. Ouch.
Yeah, we used to swim from the house behind the co-op down through and see if we could beat the turds in the river.
Oh, God.
They
Yeah.
all went right up in the river.
You didn't want to stand under it when Bill was ready to go.
Do you remember, well, of course you remember, Jack, but remember your dad built those little wooden boats? It was like a little boat that, I can remember it being out back of your house. It was kind of swampy out there, but they were like just a little wooden dinghy like that you hand built them, or your dad hand built them.
No, it was Wayne built them.
Oh, Wayne built them? But I can remember that being kind of swampy, and then it all got filled in, but.
Wayne didn't fill his in, he just cleaned the brush out and put some grass out there. Ours we never did. Remember all us guys used to play bow and arrows and cowboys and Indians and stuff out in them junk cars and shit.
Oh, yeah.
out there.
We also
We're playing all that PCB stuff there at the co-op, all them old transformers. We're playing that, make things out of that stuff out of them.
that stuff that had funny smell to it.
Yeah, and it was now it's highly. Then we'd roll down the asbestos mine, down
Played
the
in it,
hills,
yeah.
And we played all over the talc mines, for Christ's sakes, everywhere. In the mill.
Yeah, the mill.
I
All the
could-
gasoline and kerosene and.
Oh, the mill was just the dirtiest place
Do
it was.
you remember the hockey teams we used to form in the winter?
Oh, yeah, out
Yeah.
there on the river and stuff.
Yeah, a bit of
Down towards
bonfire.
your place down there.
Yeah.
Down there, yeah, they'd plow it, put water on it, they'd pump water up on it for us, or cut a hole in the ice and let the water come down onto the hockey rink. Oh, yeah, I remember all that. I remember, who was it almost drowned up there at the swimming hole up there towards Beards? Was that Kurt? Kurt or Paul, one of them. We used to swim there and jump off that rock.
Yeah, the town bought that now. It's now a community swimming hole there.
Yeah, we used to swim there. Then we used to go up skiing. We'd ski up Beard's rope.
Yes.
We'd go up that.
The tow rope.
He was good to the kids. that
Yeah,
guy.
he was hurt.
Hubert Beard.
And the pharmacy,
Oh, yeah.
the 5-cent Cokes and.
Oh, yeah. Mabel C. Mays.
Yeah. In Leon.
Dick C. Mays. Oh, yeah. They had the vanilla Cokes and pineapple Cokes. And remember that?
Oh, yeah, I
And
worked
the ice
there.
cream.
My first job was the Johnson Pharmacy.
You remember Jack Abaddon?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, yeah.
He'd do the bees. He'd get all the bees. He's a big beekeeper. You remember Tiny Hooper?
Yeah.
We'd run that tractor all the way to town from up there. Up on the other, that was up towards Courier's. He lived somewhere up that way. I don't know where.
Was Jack Abaddon the bubblegum man that would like take the bubble gum and throw it on the sidewalk? Was that?
I don't remember that. But
Yeah, Jack would buy it for the kids.
Yeah,
It came in
the
packages
bazooka.
and split it.
Yeah.
It'd be little.
oh yeah, they had that little line in the middle where you could break it up and share it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he'd sit there at that post office out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah, then the Joneses had IGA. And Mark Patch worked there in the butcher part of it.
Yeah.
I can remember going in there and they had barrels full of candy. Remember it had like little cherries and stuff in them, remember that?
Yeah.
Penny candy or 2 for a penny.
Yeah.
And, oh yeah.
The cheese was on a big butcher block with just a
Yeah,
cover
and
over it.
the pickles and the eggs and
Yeah.
all that, the hot sausages and all that. We'd go in and Charlie would cut us a little piece.
Yeah.
And,
Charlie Patch.
yeah, and
Yep.
he cut our deer up and he ate one later on. Yeah.
And he still did a little swearing back there while he was doing
He
it.
was a womanizer,
Oh my
swearing
God, Charlie Patch.
type person. Yeah. Then the Grand Union was next door.
In the landmark, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, they had
Albert
that.
went with Albert Doan. He was really a nice guy.
Yeah.
He had that asbestosis bad. But yeah, he went with some little lady that lived upstairs up there. I can't remember her name. But she was a French one too. Albert was a Frenchman. Seal was a French woman. But yeah. And Doug Sargent lived there next to him.
Yep, Doug and
Then the
Milton.
Messiers there.
You
Yeah,
know.
I remember old Pop Odell
Oh yeah.
and his knives.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah, then they had that.
The school out front.
Then they had what was that? That meeting place there, right beside it, Eastern Stars or
The Grange
Oh,
building.
Yep, the
It
Grange.
was the Grange, yeah.
Grange, is that what it was? Yeah. Then they had a store there when I was a kid.
On the corner,
Yeah,
yeah.
I don't ever.
I think
remember
they
the store.
sold shovels and odds and ends.
Yeah, he sold. Yeah, it was a hardware type and this miscellaneous stuff. Yeah. But I don't know if that was before Papadale or not.
I think it was because Aunt Barb told us a little bit about that
Mhm.
store next door.
But then the Rose lived over there, across the street.
And the Perkins.
The Perkins, and then what's the other guy? Moore. Did I say Moore? Venro Moore. He was a school, something to do with a school or insurance.
Oh, what?
One of them
oh,
sold
Roe.
insurance.
That was Roe. He worked for
Oh, Dean Row,
Dean Roe.
Oh,
yeah.
He worked for MetLife or New York Life or
Yeah.
something.
Yeah,
didn't
he did.
and then,
He was a town
Sargent's
moderator.
was up above in there, and up on the hill.
Do you remember
Parker.
Sammy?
Huh?
Do you remember Sammy Sargent?
Oh, sure. Sure, Sammy hung around with us, and Junior Hooper. Oh, there was a lot of us. The guy up there by Edgar's place, Rooney, was it Rooney? Not Rooney, the big guy that would fight with Duke and him would fight with guys. What the hell is his name? Oh, he's a strong son of a bitch. But what's his name?
Marion's husband?
No, Ron.
Emery, something Emery.
Oh,
What was not Barnum Emery? What was the one that lived up there? He died. Lived right in there, right this side of you, on the other side of the road, on the Davis farm side of the road. What was that guy's name? Rooney? Was it Rooney or
I can't think what his
what was
name
his
is.
name, Dad? I can't remember. Because him and Junior Hooper, Duke, and him, they'd get them college kids and kick that shit out of them.
Used to do it from the porch of the house. They'd walk by and whistle at them.
I can remember Duke taking that baseball bat out there that one day. And LaHoyer was there. Paul. He was getting his butt kicked, and Duke went out there with a baseball bat. Took care of that. Yeah.
You remember when
That guy's name, though.
Duke used to balance them bicycles up on his chin?
Huh?
Duke used to
Oh,
balance
yeah,
the bicycles
yeah,
and walk around with a bicycle on his
he
chin.
thought that was he come out here a lot. He come out here a lot.
Yeah.
We really had a lot of fun with him. A lot.
Duke was like a fun uncle.
Mhm.
You know, like even though he was like a little naughty, it wasn't enough to be real bad.
It
But
was,
it was
you know what, in them days,
everybody
who was it?
loved him.
Okay.
But
He's
a
everybody
wild
loved
bunch.
Duke. Anybody that remembers Duke just loved him.
Beverly and Duke were some pretty nice that he acquired.
You had a Mustang too, didn't you?
No, that was Roger.
I knew he had the one that said Rebel on his plate,
Yeah.
but I thought you had one too.
No, I had the Roadrunner.
You had a Corvette, didn't you?
Yeah, I had a Corvette.
Oh, I
remember
remember
that.
that Corvette.
The red Corvette.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that
I
I
red.
got
remember
that when I sent all my money home from Vietnam, all that combat pay and all the extra money I got, and bought that. 69 Corvette.
That'd be worth some money today, wouldn't it?
It was L88, yeah, it's 435 horsepower. I could take it, stand them wheels up. Junior Hooper chased me around one day. And he came over, he knows me, and he come over, he said, let me drive that. I said, here, take it. He said, well, now I know why I couldn't get you that 383.
Did you wreck that once too?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
I wrecked it more than once, twice. Yeah, drinking. Yeah, coming out of that Westcomb store one time, hit a patch of ice. The other time I was up by Biddle's, coming down through there at a high rate of speed on the dirt road, and there was fiberglass, and I just went off the road enough, to whatever, but that fiberglass just cracked that thing to it.
I remember looking at it after you
Yeah.
did it, and it did a number on it.
Then I hobbled it around for a while, but then, I don't know, I had a couple 440s and a Hemi and that thing, yeah, pretty crazy in them days.
They were fun years.
I wrecked that Roadrunner. I was racing a Jaguar down 89, Interstate 89. And I hit some ice and it started spinning and rolling everywhere. And there happened to be some students from UVM there studying to be doctors. And they went over and took care of me, threw me out into the snow. And anyway, I woke up in one of them beds that go around, and all that shit. It messed myself up.
It was a
pretty good.
traction
He come
bed.
back and got me.
It was kind of like for traction, wasn't it?
Huh?
Kind of a traction bed,
Yeah.
held you together.
Yeah. He flew back and got me and brought me out here. He was afraid I was gonna probably leave myself in.
It's probably the
Kinda
best thing
wild.
that ever happened to you coming out here, though, isn't it? Coming out. And,
It was when I first came here. This place was cool. I really liked it.
yeah.
But in the last 20 years, it's turned into bicycle city. It's tree huggers and bikers and marijuana and hemp. That's all hemp right there next to where.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah,
CBD oil.
it's all gone to hell in a handbasket. And they've divided. When I came here, there's only 3 houses out here. Now there's what,
Come on.
20? 30?
Yeah, see, it's
There was
pretty
nothing
populated.
out here.
Come up here. Come up here with us.
Yeah.
Yes, you want to sit up here with us. You found somebody that just loves you to pieces, so you
That's
just want to
Annie.
be in the middle.
Oh, yeah, Annie.
Annie. Yeah, what a nice little poochie. Yeah.
She used to sleep right with Grandpa, but now she's so heavy she can't get up on the bed.
Oh, my dog's too fat to get on the bed, too. He'd like to, but...
Dad, do you remember the samples? Do you remember the samples?
Yeah, they're related to the Emorys and the Bradleys. What's the sample that we just went and talked to? What was his first name? Keith?
Richard?
Richard. Yeah, Bob. Bob Sample.
Yeah,
Your cousins. They were your cousins.
yeah.
I can remember them talking about a Bradley. I don't know if it was in New York or.
Yeah. It was, Keith and I went over there. What is that Corners that we went?
Cannon Corners.
Cannon Corners.
That's where Grandpa was born.
Yeah.
Yep, we went over there
I
last
remember-
summer.
Yeah, I can remember them talking about that.
The house is all gone now. There's nothing left there. And there's
But-
no Bradleys left there at the corners
No,
anymore.
but we did come across like a woman that was in her 90s that remembered them and told us a little bit about the store being there, and
Yeah, it's not very big. I mean, if you can throw a stone, hit the Canadian
it's
border.
like East
Yeah, I
Johnson.
can remember that. That's where they come from. A bunch of them. One still